Are your expectations too high as a salon owner? I'm excited to talk to you guys today about this topic because it is something that I have struggled with my entire salon ownership entrepreneur journey. Do I have too high of expectations? Should I lower my expectations? Am I expecting too much of my team? And it has made me doubt myself multiple times throughout my 12-year journey. So, am I too intense? Do I expect too much? Am I the problem? Are these questions that you've asked yourself? Because do you wonder that? Because I think that a lot. I'm like, am I the problem? Is it me? Or do I have the wrong team? Like I have questioned this over and over and over. And I've had another salon owner share with me their experience, and it kind of prompted this podcast episode. And I was like, oh, this is a good one. And I know a lot of you guys can relate to this right now. Okay. Her experience with having high expectations, she's had several team members, let's just say, not rise to the occasion. She recently had an artist leave, and in the process, this is what the artist said: this job is too mentally taxing on me. It's too much. That's hard to hear. And I've had things like this said to me as well, multiple things like this. These are real conversations that salon owners are having behind closed doors. So if you're thinking this, these are conversations we're having inside of LG Education, inside of our education. Like, we talk about these things. And I bet you've had this feeling once or twice inside of salon leadership. If you not only own a salon, but you have employees or renters, you have team members, doesn't matter the model, okay? If you have team members, and you put clear guidelines into place and you have expectations, and then people don't rise to the occasion, or they don't meet your standards, or you're struggling with your team because they're doing this, this, and this wrong, you've probably thought, well, are my expectations just too high? Do I want too much for my team? Because my team members are having a hard time rising to that occasion. So we're going to talk about this today, all right? So inside this episode, you will see why having high expectations are not a weakness. This is not a weakness, but a leadership strength when they're clearly communicated. That's the key right here, you guys, when they are clearly communicated. Okay, so let's talk about part one inside of this episode. We're going to call it the guilt cycle. Okay, why salon owners start doubting themselves. Why and how I have doubted myself in this before, okay? Stylist that says, this job is too mentally taxing. I can never do anything right. I can't meet your expectations. I've had a leader recently tell me that she felt like she could never do anything right. And that broke my heart. It really did. Team members make you feel like your standards are just too much. You expect too much of these people, okay? You worry you're too intense. I'm holding up quotations right now. Too intense. And then you start softening and you start letting things slide. So you lower your expectations because of these people. All right. Okay. I have had one of my leaders tell me that everything we do inside of Salon Lace was too much. All right. And this is my own past experience and example. I have several I'm going to share with you guys today because this episode is hitting so home, I'll say, to my heart, of the guilt and a lot of things that I've dealt with inside of salon ownership the last decade plus. This artist said that everything we do is just too much. It was overwhelming. Okay. And I wouldn't say this was like a bad conversation, but it was an alarming conversation to me. It was one that my ears perked up, that I was like, I don't like this. I don't like this at all. And she was talking about like our one-on-ones that we have, our assistant classes. We were doing extension training once a month at the time. Photo shoots that we were doing quarterly, once a year retreat, train the trainers quarterly, and it is a lot. We have cut back since then, but at the time, it was a lot. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it and be like, you can't keep up, like that's your problem. No, it was a lot. I was expecting a lot, and I was expecting a lot more of my leaders. Okay. And like I said, I'll be the first to say, hell yeah, it is. But she got me questioning so many things after this conversation. So many things that I was starting to get in my head, like, are we doing too much? Am I expecting too much of my team and my leaders? And honestly, it made me revert to not want to do anything at all. And this is not me. This is not Lacey. I pour into my team relentlessly over and over and over. It's not who I am. I don't want to close down. I don't want to soften who I am. I don't want to not give it my all because someone thinks I'm too much or someone doesn't want to show up. And that, that's fine. These things too, you don't have to come to everything. You miss, an assistant class or you miss an extension training. That's okay. Pick back up the next month because we all have seasons. You have to give a little bit of grace, which we'll talk to. We'll get to that in just a second. But this made me revert honestly into this, like, I'll say a turtle, like I tucked inside my shell because this person said I was too much or what we were doing was too much, I need my leaders to rise to the occasion. And it's not a position for everyone. It's not. I'm just going to say that. It's for the elite. It's for the extraordinary. It's for the top 1%. And maybe it wasn't for this person. This person was a great leader. And maybe it was just a season in her life. And that's okay too. And maybe I needed to hear that. But it gave me that guilt. You guys see how like saying something like this thought like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be doing this too much. Maybe we need to revert back. Lacey, maybe it's just too much. I don't want to be like that. All right. So I want to normalize that this happens to everyone, all leaders inside of salon ownership. You've probably experienced this once or time. It's part of the journey. Every wrong fit reveals the right fit, which leads me into part 2, wrong fit versus right fit. Sometimes the discomfort isn't because your expectations are too high, but because that person isn't aligned with your culture. It takes the wrong fit to find the right fit. And I think it's going to take you lots of wrong fits, a wrong fit after a wrong fit after a wrong fit before you really start to define what your right fit is. And I'm using quotations again, right fit. Who is, you have an ICA, you have an ideal like clientele, target market. You also have that inside of your team members and employees and renters. Who do you want inside of your space? And we have to define who that person is. Okay. So this leads me to another story. And this one is real personal. Okay. Let's talk about dress code. All right. We're going there. I want to share a story. I had one of my past leaders reach out. Let me just say, after she chose to leave the company. So this was after she left. And this is word for word what she told me. And this was through a text message. And this is just a portion of it. It was a novel, okay? It said, Lacey, I was brainwashed into believing I needed bold lipstick and lashes to look pretty. If I wanted a good clientele, I had to dress a certain way, speak a certain way, look a certain way. And I am aware that these are your own insecurities being projected, and that makes me extremely sad. This text message made me feel bad for having standards inside of my company. And it made me second guess some things. It's a hard thing to hear, right? This was never said to my face. This was through a text. And I responded very politely, very nice. I hate to hear this. I wish nothing but the best for you. I love you. You'll always be near and dear to my heart. Like my message was super short and sweet back, but it was heartfelt. And I was like shattered that this person felt this way, someone that I was very close with. But now, knowing what I know now and looking back, would I have responded differently? Probably not. Probably would have sent the same message back, but I'm going to share with you guys. Let's talk about my truth. Okay. The truth. This person was a reflection of me. This person was a reflection of my business of Salon Lace. And when you join our salon, you sign a contract that states you abide by our standards, which includes dress code and dress attire. 99% of businesses in the world have standards. They have dress codes, they have handbooks and contracts, schools, restaurants, corporate offices, sports teams, you name it. Why should my business be any different? Okay. The beauty industry, which is what we work in, the beauty industry is built on first impressions. How we show up visually matters. You guys know that. As a salon owner, dress code is awful. You've dealt with it with team member after assistant after team member of like, it sucks. It's one of the worst things about our job. It matters to me that we're clean, that we're put together, that we're polished. I have a dress code. It's a very relaxed dress code, but we still have one. Do I personally love a bold lip and some eyelashes, just to address that comment for a second? Yes, I do. I love a bold lip color because you look bright and alive. I love some eyelashes. It wakes you up a little bit. I love this. But this is not a necessity to my team. Never has been. It sure as hell is not in the handbook. Never has been. Okay? So I'm just going to say that. There's nothing in there that says you have to have a bold lip color on or eyelashes stated anywhere. Okay? If you're a part of Salon Lace, I expect you to withhold our standards of our dress code. You sign off on it. Especially as one of my leaders. We should be going above and beyond when it comes to our looks to create that amazing guest experience that we do uphold. What I realized from this entire experience, from this conversation, from this happening, it wasn't that my expectations were wrong, because they're not. It was that she no longer wanted to live by them. And that's okay. That's why she no longer was the right fit for our culture and for our company. And that's why she chose to excuse herself. And that's okay. This experience taught me that having standards isn't about being controlling or projecting insecurities. It's about protecting my culture. High expectations will always feel like too much for the wrong people. I'm going to say that again because it's so good. Having high expectations will always feel too much to the wrong people. But to the right people, they feel like clarity, structure, and safety. It's not about lowering expectations. It's about finding people who want to rise to them. Are you guys with me? Okay. So let's talk about why high expectations matter. They create high standards. What you permit, you promote. High standards equals an aligned environment plus a better culture. I truly believe that. And I've noticed that through the evolution of Salon Lace, through the years of doing this, through the years of wrong fits. If I could go back 10 years ago knowing what I know now, I would have had higher expectations. We would have got there a lot quicker. If you lower standards to make it easier, you're setting the tone for mediocrity. Do you want a mediocre team? All right, think about that for a second. A mediocre guest experience, a mediocre salon? I don't. I want an extraordinary team. I want a team that goes above and beyond. I want an extraordinary guest experience. I want the elite. I want the top 1%. I want the top 0.01%. High expectations do matter. They create higher standards, a better culture, and an aligned environment. Low expectations don't protect you. They destroy your culture. And I've seen it happen. I've made mistakes. I've lowered my expectations because the team member said something, and I'll never do it again. All right, so let's talk about the balance of grace, okay? We're all human. So does that mean, Lacey, you're just cutthroat and what you expect? No, I'm going to give grace because I need people to give me grace. I'm human too. I make mistakes too, okay? But giving grace doesn't mean you lower your standards. It means we're going to have some balance. It means that we're going to show up every now and then, maybe not in dress code, okay? We're going to show compassion while still holding people accountable. That's a big one, is showing compassion. And I've showed a lot more compassion in the last couple of years than what I ever had, okay? It's okay if someone forgets once. No big deal. We'll pick back up tomorrow. But it's not okay for this person to forget every single week. And that's when your standards come into play. Do you guys see the difference here? We have to give grace. But let's not let a repeat occurrence happen day after day, week after week, because then what you're permitting to your team, you're promoting to your team. So last but not least, let's talk about having clear expectations from day one, because this is kind of where it all ties back in, okay? Most of the too high conflict isn't about expectations being too much. It's about them being unclear. You're unclear and your team doesn't know what you expect because you never laid the foundation. Employees can't meet what they don't understand. Your team members, can't show up and can't do things right and can't live to your expectations if they don't understand your expectations. So from day one, from before they even start, we're going to lay out what we expect. That's why having a clear handbook, guidelines, tray setup, orientation, what to expect, like all that should be laid out. And if it's not, we need to go back to the drawing board. We need you guys to join us inside the Assistant University. We need you guys to get our handbook and our Ultimate Assistant Guide to lay this out, because you could just copy ours, put your salon name in, brand it, all the things. You need to put it in writing. You can't just go off of verbal what you're saying. It has to be in writing. Go over your handbook page by page if you have to. Okay? Create videos on what you expect, short clip it videos, Pinterest boards and visuals on dress code. I'm going to link our Pinterest boards below so you guys can get examples, because dress code is very visual. This is a hard one because you have, sometimes there's some gray areas. What to expect, what not to expect. I think it's important to create visuals of what is not acceptable. So just because it's cute and it's trendy and you're like, oh my God, that's so trendy right now. Is it acceptable inside of your work environment? Is it acceptable for them to wear on a $3,000 paying guest? It might not be. I always say there's like Target cute. We could go to Target and I could look really cute in like some tights or like a crop top or something, but it's not Salon Lace appropriate. There's a difference. So show them that on visuals on a Pinterest board. So you guys can click in the show notes and you guys can go see our Pinterest boards. Last but not least, you need to make it repeatable and measurable. And that's the hard thing with dress code. Everything needs to be able to repeat and be able to measure it. If they can't or won't meet the bar, you know they're not a right fit. And some people can start off as the right fit, and with time, they don't live up to the standards, they change, or your expectations rise. And then there's a gap. You guys see that gap? If what you were permitting in the very beginning, and then you get higher standards, you elevate, you enhance your guest experience and your culture and all the things, and your team doesn't rise, there's a gap now. So they will rise to the occasion or they will not, and we have to let go. So recapping, as a salon owner, it's normal to feel guilty. Everyone's going to at some point or another. Just know that's part of the journey. You're going to feel guilty, but I don't want you to lower your expectations. Wrong fits are part of the journey. You're going to have a ton of wrong fits. And that's why we preach inside LG education to hiring, because you're going to come, there's going to be people that come and go. There's going to be people that are a part of your journey for 6 months, a part of your journey for 2 years, a part of your journey for 6 years. Some might be 10 years. Amazing. But a lot are just going to be a part of your journey for a short snippet of time. And they might be a wrong fit. And we have to bless and release. High expectations create the culture that you're dreaming of right now. So keep those high expectations. And then clear expectations, written, they need to know them. It's going to protect you and your team. And I always say quality over quantity, baby. And I've learned this the hard way within the last couple of years. I would take 6 quality stylists that are extraordinary in all assets of being a leader in the salon than 16 average artists. All day, any day. More does not equal more successful. Quality over quantity. So I'm going to encourage you guys to audit your expectations this week. Go look at your handbook. Do you have a handbook? Okay. I would love for you to grab our guide. So we're going to link our Ultimate Assistant Guide. I have one for you guys. It's a $99 purchase. It's on sale right now. We're giving you guys $200 off as a listener of our podcast. You're going to enter the code 2025, enter that code, and you will get $200 off this guide. So it makes it $99. It's incredible. It's inside Canva. You can start editing it today. Super easy, but we've given you guys a ton of expectations to start out with. A handbook, dress codes in there, first day, downtime activities, literally everything you can imagine to start their training. Okay, this is your guide. This is your roadmap. Where have you lowered the bar out of guilt, and how can you reset it clearly? If you have lowered the bar, if you're like, you know what, I've become this owner that I don't love. I've become someone that I've lowered my expectations because of what my team has said. And how can I reset and get that back? Because you can. I promise you, you can. All right. The wrong people will call your standards too high, and the right people will call them home. Every time you lower your standards, you lower your culture. Every time you raise them, you raise your team up. So good. So good. I loved this episode, and I was dying to record this one for you guys today. So I hope you guys love it. I hope you guys had some big takeaways. I want you to stay strong. Stay true to who you are, and do not let anyone steer you from your true, authentic self and tell you that you're too much, because you're not. I've been told I'm too much my entire life. That's what makes me me. So much love to you guys. I'll see you guys right back here, same time, same place. We release a new podcast episode every single Monday morning, 6 a.m. Central Time. So I hope you guys tune in. Love you guys. Have a great week. Bye.